Hey YouTube, Scott Stevens here. Check it out. First and foremost, I have a giveaway on my channel here. One free copy of College Football 26. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel and be active on the channel. July 11th, I will pick a random winner. All right, let's talk about what we did not get in Dynasty for College Football 26. The deep dive came out yesterday. And first of all, let's talk about that. The deep dive. Now, if you look on the campus huddle, and I did, so you don't have to, it's 13 pages long. 13 or 16,000 words. That's pretty impressive, but who the hell wants to read 13 pages? The video that they call, and I use air quotes here, a deep dive, was about 5 minutes long. When you have 13,000, 16,000 words, 13 pages of information, you can make your deep dive video be a little bit longer. Like at least double. They go into great depth about all the new features in Dynasty. And there's some cool stuff in there. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of cool new features in there. But when you call a video a deep dive video, and all you do is touch the surface of what's going on, that's really not a deep dive video. So EA Sports, you really need to stop with that shit, okay? The deep dive is actually in the campus huddle. And believe me, it took me all day to read that shit because that white text on the black background is very hard, at least on my eyes. You know, I'm old, so. But let's talk about the things that we did not get in Dynasty mode for College Football 26, and it's disappointing to me. I don't know if it's disappointing to you guys, but historic stadiums, classic stadiums, that's the first thing, and I harp on this on my live streams. You've all heard it before, I'm sure. They should be in the game. There's no reason that they shouldn't be in the game, and mainly the two I'm talking about, and I know there's a lot more, but the Orange Bowl in Miami and Sun Devil Stadium in Phoenix, the old Sun Devil Stadium. Now, Sun Devil Stadium, back when I was doing play-by-play for Arizona State in, the 90s, early 90s, mid to mid-90s. It was a double-decker stadium. They had a walkway across the top of the stadium all the way around it. It was really cool. They ended up with some structural problems over the years, and they ended up having to refurbish the stadium, or whatever you want to call it, redesign it, and they cut it down to a single level. And it's pretty cool. It's a cool stadium, the way it looks now, but it's not the old Sun Devil Stadium. The Arizona Cardinals played there, okay? They were known as the Phoenix Cardinals back then. So the stadium was in Madden. Arizona State played there, so the stadium was in college football, the previous edition of the game. Why isn't it in the game now? You know they have the files for those stadiums. Same with the Orange Bowl. Miami Hurricanes played at the Orange Bowl. It was in college football before. The Miami Dolphins played there. It was in Madden before. So EA Sports has the files for these stadiums. And don't think they threw them away. They always had the mindset that college football was going to come back at some point. They didn't get rid of those stadiums because, like I said, even if they got rid of the college football side of it, they still, both stadiums were in Madden. And there's a lot of other classic stadiums that could be included in Dynasty mode as well. I'm very disappointed that we cannot play with the Miami Hurricanes in the Orange Bowl or Arizona State in old Sun Devil Stadium. That's just, you know, I don't see any reason for that. Classic teams. From what the deep dives have shown, they are not in Dynasty either. Now, this is a little more tricky to be able to do. So I understand that it may not be. Hopefully it'll be in the game down the road. But, you know, everybody wants to, I mean, look at the 2001 Miami Hurricanes is considered one of the best teams of all time. If the defense didn't score a touchdown, or if the offense didn't score a touchdown that year, the team still would have been 8-4. I mean, that's how incredible the defense was. That's a little more difficult to do on EA Sports' part. It's not impossible for historic teams. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of people involved, a lot of licensing involved in there. So I understand why that's not in there. But, you know, hopefully we can get that down the road. But it's not in the game this year. Here's a big one, custom conferences. Now, right now you can custom your conference teams, but you cannot custom your conference names. Now, here's the deal with this. Again, I don't think it's in Dynasty because they didn't tell us and they didn't mention it that we can do this. So I'm going to say it's not in College Football 26. You can custom your conference teams, but you can't change the name of your conference. Like, for instance, currently I have a Dynasty going with Yale, and I'm playing Ivy League football. I created the whole Ivy League. But I cannot change the name of the conference, so the Ivy League is actually taking place in the AAC. Now, I understand the reasoning behind not being able to change the conference names. I get that 100%. You know, the Big Ten doesn't want their name changed in the game. I understand that. But EA Sports can add one conference, a blank conference, a blank canvas, allow us to put the teams that we want, upload a logo, and name it whatever we want. Now, they go into a lot of detail about the old paying homage to the game in the history of the game. They talk about the Pacific Coast Conference, which is what the Pac-10 was before, or the Pac-12, whatever, the Pac-8, the Pac-10, the Southwest Conference, all these old, the Big 8, all these old conferences that used to be that are no longer. They're paying homage to them, and they're going all the way back to the first national championship in 1869 when actually Yale won the first ever college football national championship. They're going back all that way with all and bringing to light right in front of you once again all these old conferences, but they're not giving you the option to use these old conferences or to build the conferences. I understand you can't use them, but they should allow you a blank conference canvas to create them. They push team builder. They want you to build your own teams, which would lead to building your own conference. So why can't we have a blank canvas conference to change the name? I would love to have that for my Ivy League right now and see Ivy League at the top of my standings instead of AAC. That's not in the game this year. That sucks. Because, you know, like I said, they want you to build your teams. And speaking of team builder, still, you cannot just add teams to college football. You can build your team builder, but if you want to import them, you have to replace a current college team. There's no additional slots for you to do so. Now, they did increase the number of team builder teams you can import. I think it was limited at 8 or 10 last year. They did increase that number, so you can bring more custom teams into your dynasty this season. However, you have to replace a college team every time you bring one in. Well, that kind of sucks. You know, so there's always going to be 136 teams. You can't make 150 teams. And that kind of sucks because you got to always take a team out, and some people don't want to remove any teams, and I get that. So that's they didn't fix that yet, so we still don't have that. Also, Team Builder is only available once again in Online Dynasty. Now, I don't know if you're like me. I can't stand Online Dynasty. I don't like it. When you're Online Dynasty, you're relying on their servers. We're relying on their servers anyway, but with Online Dynasty, you're relying on it even twice as much. In any type of issue, you're going to have a problem. And I don't understand. Offline Dynasty, Team Builder, why can't they work together? They can. We all know they can because they used to. So we all know it can be, you know, put together. But, again, this year, not a thing. Offline Dynasty is fine, but you cannot use Team Builder teams with an offline Dynasty. Can't do it. Maybe down the road, but they're really pushing that online stuff. And the final thing is really not a part of a dynasty, but they mentioned in the campus huddle for dynasty mode, the dynasty deep dive. Again, I keep using air quotes with that because it's not really a deep dive. The campus huddle is. But they say that when they created College Football 25, they had a 4 and 5 year plan to create steps every single year of improvements and additions to the game. I think that's bullshit. My personal opinion, I think that's bullshit. Because what they're telling you is that we could probably put more in the game this year when we're taking your money. We probably could have put more in last year's game. Remember, 4 years in development. But they want to keep taking your money. It's like the crack addict. You keep giving the crack addict a little at a time, little at a time. They're going to keep coming back to your corner to buy some more until they're dead. That's what they're doing here. They're giving you a little bit more, a little bit more. Next year, they're going to give a little bit more and a little bit more. And they even say this in their Campus Huddle Deep Dive. And that's bullshit because they're just fucking stealing our money, man. That's bullshit. Give us everything you can at this point. Because maybe next year, we're not going to play College Football 25. Maybe, I know, next year I'm playing Grand Theft Auto 6. I love college football. But I think I love Grand Theft Auto a little bit more. So my live streams are going to go to Grand Theft Auto 6 next year. Maybe I'll get the college game. I don't know. We'll see. But definitely the world is waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6. And that's going to hurt every game across the board, including College Football 27. So give us what we want, what you can now. Don't fucking hold us to, $100+ this year, $100+ last year, $100+ next year. That's bullshit, man. That's just slapping your consumer in the face and saying, fuck you, we don't give two shits about you. But we already know this from EA Sports, from dealing with EA Sports over the years. So those are the things that are not in Dynasty mode. Very disappointing. Don't get me wrong, I'm still looking forward to it. There's a lot of cool features in Dynasty mode coming in College Football 26. A lot of new stuff, really cool stuff, but a lot of stuff missing. And the stuff that's missing, look at this. Another thing. I didn't see anything in the gameplay deep dive or the Dynasty deep dive about measurements on, third and less than one. I didn't see any measurements. I didn't see any mention of measurements. I didn't see any mention of coin toss in either one of the deep dives. Is the coin toss coming back? Doesn't look like it. Measurements? Doesn't look like it. And one of the things during gameplay that really annoys me the most is when there's a play that's being reviewed, the referee does not come out and say, after further review, the play stands as called, the play is overturned. They don't say anything like that. On a booth review or you challenge a play, they don't tell you the results of the play. You have to, and mind you, you have to do this while the play clock is ticking down. It's not like you're on a frozen screen, a frozen menu screen. The play clock is always ticking down while you're trying to figure out what the results of that last play were. So you don't know if you still have the ball, if you don't have the ball, did you get a first down, did you get a touchdown? It's so stupid. Have a referee come out and tell you the results of the challenge, the booth review, whatever the case may be. Tell us. Just tell us. Don't make us guess. Because while we're sitting there doing the math, looking, it was first down, now it's second down. We were at the 37, now we're at the 6. We're at the 6. Just all that human computing to try and figure out the results of the booth review or the challenge. It doesn't take a long time. It takes just a few seconds to figure out. But when the play clock is ticking down, every single second is precious. So, again, I haven't seen anything about that being in the game, so we have to assume at this point that it is not as well. So, while there's a lot of cool stuff coming in Dynasty mode and a lot of cool improvements in the gameplay, still a lot of stuff missing. Very, very disappointing with some of the stuff that's missing because some of it is an easy add. We're not, these things that I mentioned here, nothing I mentioned is extremely difficult to do. Well, that's it. That's everything that's not in Dynasty mode in College Football 26. Still looking forward to it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Don't forget doing that free giveaway on July 11th. The game comes out to the public on July 10th. July 11th, I'm going to pick a random winner from the active users on my channel to get a free copy of College Football 26. That's all you have to do. Subscribe and be active. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, what you feel is missing. Are you happy with what we know so far? Are you disappointed? Let me know, and thank you for joining. I hope this helps give you a little bit of insight to what we're not getting in College Football 26 in the Dynasty mode. Thank you for joining. I'll see you next time.